The first Wes Montgomery solo I ever tried to copy by ear on my own, slowing the record down, was a tune called Sundown. I choose that because that is a blues tune and it is key of A. But I failed. I failed for one reason. I learned something that was not true. I learned the blues was pentatonic. So that is how I try to find those notes around those five notes around that box. I thought I got every pitch down. I didn't even know that was wrong until I learned to really hear from Richie Hart. That I understood what Wes was doing. It was never pentatonic. It was melody, upper structures, the Wes line, the Django line. How he actually built the solo, that will be covered in the next video. But today, now, when I say the blues is not pentatonic, someone always can say, well, the blues is not only those five notes. We add these certain notes over here, over there, to make a correct chord change or whatever. But it was never about those notes. It is about where you center them. And the one thing that finally cracked the blues open for me was not a scale at all. It was a chord, the 1/6 chord. That is what today is about. That is the one chorus of blues solo, and I try to play over our subject today. The one chord, the centered on the sixth sound. Hear how it sings? That is the sound I could not find in the box. I'm Junan Choi. I studied jazz guitar at Berklee College of Music, but I learned to hear from Richie Hart. What I do on this channel is pass down that apprenticeship. The pentatonic is not wrong. It just is not the center of the blues. The 1/6 is. Let me prove it to you in three ways. Three players, and you can go hear each one for yourself. First, Charlie Parker wrote it down. Listen to the melody of Billie's Bounce, one of the most famous blues head ever played. The one chord there is not a pentatonic box, or even a one dominant 7 chord, and it is not a major 7 it is built around 1/6 chord. The major third in it and the sixth sitting right in the melody. Parker put it there. 2. Wes Montgomery shows you how to use it. Not as a chord, as a line, one phrase, and you will hear that same 6 chord sound turn into a melody right over the one chord where your box used to sit. 3. George Benson stole it. The way every great player steals, same notes Parker wrote, same path Wes built, and Benson made it sound like Benson. That is your proof that isn't not a trick. It is a tradition you can step into. Stay with me for next 20 minutes and you will never play the one chord like a box again. So let's see how actually George Benson played the Billie's Bounce melody. Over here, you can see the top. That is the way I learned from Richie Hart how George Benson was playing this melody on the fretboard. So this is a key of F. So we are going down here, F major, but the sixth note, the D, we play the open string. Okay? Look at the notes. This is a 1/7 chord. So this is F7. And over here we are going to the 4 chord. So this is B flat 7. But on the 1/7 first 4 measure, we do not, there is no E flat notes in the melody. We have D, which is 6th degree of F. So, but still, yes, blues is built around the dominant chord. But what they are soloing over and what they are thinking, hearing the one chord sound, they think that is F6. So over here, and also this is really another subject, but really important one. So as you can see over here, this might look like a 2-note playing there, but actually it is not. Also over here, it just slurred to the A natural. Okay? But look at on the 4 chord. So this is a 1 chord, right? And then we have 4 chords down here. So on the 4 chord, we play is simply the A flat. And this phrase with A flat and F underneath that, it sounds like F minor. So that this is another subject I will cover later probably, but this is just so important to make a good sound on the blues. So I need to say it over here so that I can send you guys over here what I was talking about. Okay? So, but today we are just simply focusing on the what 1 chord sound we can use. Okay. And if you guys are familiar with the rhythm change is also 1/6. The one chord on the rhythm change was never a 1 major 7. It was always been 1/6 chord. So back at the time, or even the standard chord, when the tune is ending, we usually ends on the tonic notes on top, the melody. The singer usually sing and reserve to the tonic notes. And have you ever played behind the singer at the very last chord? Have you ever played the major 7 for the singer? Then you are wrong. I mean, yeah, I know the people said in the music there's nothing wrong and nothing really bad can happen, but that is wrong. Yes, that is wrong. If the melody is on the tonic and you play the major 7 underneath that tonic notes, the melody notes, that is wrong. So substitute chord, what we play for that moment, we played 6 voicing. And this is the same thing. The one chord, this being a 6th voicing, is so common. So over here, but not necessarily on the blues, I'm not saying you should play the 6th chord as a voicing. No. Your solo around your soloing line should be around that. And look at over here. That F6 voicing, so this is F major 7. And then this is the 3rd, and then this is major 7. This is roots, right? So major 7, whole step down. Over here is F6 voicing, right? And then if we put the roots on top again, then we have this 6 voicing. And if we just don't play the root over here, we have D minor triad on top of it. And this is where Wes is playing his solo line. Okay, so over here, the D minor, okay, we are looking at the music one more time. And I'm going to write down the top, yes. And this is just repeated notes. Yeah, every note's repeating is just the same spot. And over here, no. Yes. And the next phrase is just a repeated note. So here we go. So on top line, there is a Wes Montgomery play on No Blues. The album is Smokin at the half notes. So in the couple of chorus in, right before he get into the octave solo, he plays this phrase. that rhythmic and yeah, I mean, this is the beginning of the chorus. So F7, yeah, B flat 7, but the chord change doesn't matter with this rhythmic and thematic playing, right? And the with those big hit right here and right here, because he built up this rhythm from previous solo, the drummer was hit these big hits together. So at that moment, yeah, you guys have to go and listen. And this is what he was playing on that moment. He is clearly playing the D minor shape. Why he can play like this wide notes and he can connect this? Because over here is his signature Wes Line rising. This is G minor 7 Wes Line, but the G minor 7 being a 2 chord of the F, key of F, right? So in F6, if he just hide these B flat notes over 1 chord, still he can play the tonic sound. So yes, he was playing off of that D minor sound. And let's look at the bottom line. This is a George Benson playing on the Billie's bounce. So he plays the previous page, that Billie's bounce melody, and then this is his second chorus of the same tune, the Billie's bounce. And look at what he is playing. Yeah, he is more into that D minor blues sound. Wes was just playing the rhythmically and melodically over the D minor blues sound, like but George Benson was more direct to saying this is blues. Right? That is just sitting right there, the D minor blues scale. So, 3 players, 3 generations, just 1 chord. Charlie Parker wrote it. Wes made it a line. Benson made it his own. The blues was never a pentatonic box. It was the 6. Next time, I keep my promise. The whole story of Sundown and how Wes actually built the solo, not the box, melody, upper structures, the Wes line, the Django line, everything I could not hear for years. How do you make this yours? That is what Bluesprint teaches. 12 hours, 13 diagnoses, the whole system. The 1 and the 4 chord, the blue notes, the 3rd the voice leading and how to diagnose your own playing when it goes flat and you do not know why. The link is in the description. Until next time, keep swinging.